Hello friends, welcome to SRIRAM's IAS. In this video, we will be talking about border infrastructure and management. You can link this topic with GS3, internal security. Now, every odd year, UPSC loves to ask questions regarding border management. Like in 2023, there is a question which is not directly linked to border management, but indirectly they have linked drone technologies and the issues related with drone and our border management. So this is a very hot topic for GS3 internal security. So guys, we have a very huge land border as well as a very vast coastline. The total border that India shares with all its countries is around 15,106.7 kilometers. We share this border with 7 countries, and along with this, we have 7,516 kilometers of huge coastline that includes our mainland coastline, plus we have our island coastlines as well. So India shares this border, which has its, like, each border has its own unique geographical feature. It has extreme topography. It has extreme geography, from desert, from swampy marshes, from thick dense forest, and then it is all, some borders are also well highly densely populated, so it has its own issues. So before we come to what is border management, let us very quickly have a look at a glance or of how our Indian borders are bifurcated. So we start from our western neighbor, Pakistan. We share a border of 3,323 kilometers. It covers the state of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, and Union Territory of J&K. So we all know that this is the most hostile border at present we have right now. Then most of us don't know this, that India share a border with Afghanistan as well. So presently we have a LOC which is somewhat similar to what I have drawn here. But India claims that all this portion is Indian territory, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And from this territory, we have a border that touches Afghanistan. This is 106 kilometers in length. So can you guys tell me what is the name of the border line that India shares with Afghanistan? Do let me know in the comment box. Then guys, another hostile border that India has is China. We have a 3,488 kilometers of total border with China. So you can look at this border. This is the western front, this is the eastern front, and this portion is known as the middle front. Then the states, the Union Territory of J&K, then Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and then Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. These are the states that share border with China. Then we have Nepal, a friendly territory with which we share a border of 1,751 kilometers, that share a border with Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, and a little portion of West Bengal. Then we have Bhutan. With Bhutan, we share a border of 699 kilometers, and the states that are adjacent to the Bhutanese border are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Sikkim. Then we have Myanmar, a 1,643 kilometer. This is again a very porous border. And then we have our longest border, 4,097 kilometers with Bangladesh. So in total, we have these land borders. And then along with this, border management also include securing India from its coastal frontiers or securing our coastal maritime security or maintaining our maritime security. So we have a total 7,516 kilometers of mainland coastline, and then we have another 294 kilometers of island coastline. So we have a huge coastline that needs to be guarded. So what do you mean by this term border management? Basically, border management does not include just defending the borders. It includes protecting the sovereignty of our country. It includes protecting the integrity and unity of the country. So, the ambit or which nodal agency is responsible for maintaining the borders, it is Ministry of Home Affairs. So, the Department of Border Management, which is a separate department, it is working in Ministry of Home Affairs that focuses on the management of international land and coastal borders. Then strengthening of border policing, guarding, creation of infrastructure, road, fencing, floodlights, all these things comes under Border Area Development Program. This enables effective communication coordination among all security agencies for such territorial conditions and need proper planning and measures. So this border area development program is the holistic program that looks after the whole set of border management in the country. Then the border management in our country, it works on the principle of one border, one force. That means for each border, we have one dedicated force guarding that frontier. So like if we start from Pakistan, so BSF is guarding your Pakistani border. Then ITBP is responsible for guarding the Chinese border. Then for Nepal and Bhutan, we have SSB, Shastra Seema Bal. Then for Myanmar, we have again Assam Rifles, which are deployed here. And then in some cases, it is ITBP as well. Then for our Bangladesh, we have the BSF. Then protecting the coastal maritime security, which body is responsible for protection of coastal maritime borders? Our Indian Coast Guards are the front line defense. Then it is also backed by Indian Navy. However, at the front runner, it is the Indian Coast Guard. So all these forces are like, we work on the principle of one border, one force. That one particular force is guarding and is having the responsibility of holding that border. Then coming to what are the other forces doing? Like, what is the role of Indian Army? What is the role of Indian Navy? What is the role of Indian Air Force? Basically, all these three forces, they act as a second line of defense. So the front runners are these forces. The second line of defense are these dedicated forces like Army for the Pakistan frontier, for the Chinese frontier. Then we have Indian Navy protecting the coastal frontier as a second line of defense. And then we have established different Air Force bases at different places that can tackle the maritime challenges as well as the land border challenges. So we are following a specific approach for each type of border. Then let us very quickly understand that what are the issues affecting the management of our borders. What are the broader issues that are linked with our border? So first of all, it is hostile elements. Like we have a hostile neighborhoods that support or that they plan proxy wars in India, like Pakistan and China. So all these hostile elements, they have access to new technologies such as drone. They deliberately infuse money to support anti-India activities. Then they form organizational strength, like they have their militia, militant groups working in different borders. Then a wide choice of available for selecting the theater for action for surprise strikes. Like they use the complexities of the borders and then they plan their strike according to the geography of that place. For example, Kargil War. So in Kargil War, it was a well understood fact between Indian and Pakistani forces that both the forces will come down whenever the nature or whenever the geography become extreme, that is during the winter months. So it becomes very difficult to maintain those forces at such a altitude. But what these hostile elements have done, they have taken the advantage and then they have captured those all important positions in the winter months, and that led to the Kargil war. Another issue that we have in our border management is proper demarcation. We do not have proper demarcation for our maritime borders as well as land borders. We are continuously in conflicts with many neighbors. Like we have a POK issue, then we have Sir Creek issue, then we have our Aksai issue, then we have Arunachal issue. However, all these territories are something that India claims it is our territory. But because we do not have proper demarcation and settled borders with the neighbors, all these areas are, one or the other, they become a dispute. Like, for example, in Sri Lanka, we have a maritime dispute with them, and at times that dispute leads to the arrest of fishermen. Then porosity of the borders. Most of our Indian borders are porous. Like almost 80% of the Pakistani border is now fenced. Almost 70% of the Bangladeshi border is fenced. That means we have created fence on our side of land. However, 20% is still open. Like it is very thick forest. It is a marshy land. So fencing is not possible there. So it becomes a porous border. Then if I talk about China, we have almost all the border with China is porous. Same with Myanmar. Same with Bhutan. Same with Nepal. So this also makes a issue that can affect our border management. Then all these borders are contested, like I have just explained. Then inefficiency in border management. Like all these forces, the paramilitary forces, and even the defense forces like Army, Navy, Air Force, they lack critical infrastructure. Like, for example, in a border, you need observation towers, you need floodlights so that in the night time you can have a good vigil. So these are the things that are required. So right now, in like in most of the vulnerable places, we have installed it. However, still at many places we are lacking in it. Then poor intelligence and resource efficiency. The intelligence, the local intelligence gathering at many places are not to that extent, which basically, yeah, like if you do not have the proper intelligence gathering, it can result in a Gaza Israel like conflict. Like all these militia were planning these attacks, like they are in a continuous plan to, look for the vulnerability of India and then to attack India. So we have at times, we have like at times, because of intelligence failure, it results into all these, attacks. Then ethnic conflicts and separatist movement, which are generally, they are, infused by the neighbors only, but in a way we have these tensions in our bordering states, like the complete northeast. Right now Manipur is still on the fire, and the major reason for those that fire is ethnic conflict, the dispute between the communities. And then we have separatist movements which are also sponsored from outside, and they also continuously compel to, work in this direction. So ethnic conflicts and separatist movement. Then overpopulation in border area. So Most of our border area, and especially the border that we share with Bangladesh, it has a high population density. Now, this high population density results into lot of illegal migrants coming into Indian states. Like for example, the Indian side, we have around 700 to 800 person per square kilometer, and on the Bangladeshi side, we have around 1,000 people on per square kilometer. So this is the population density, which is very high. Political instability and disorder. So in most of these states that are bordering the neighbors or bordering the international border, the proxy wars are also like sponsored and planned by our hostile neighbors like Pakistan and China. They try to create and infuse political instability at many occasions, and this could be one of the reasons that we can say that why we have, why we have converted the status of J&K into a union territory, so we can have a more centralized control. All right, so it can have more political stability, it can have more order. Then what are the initiatives that we have taken to secure our borders? Very quickly, let us see this. The first initiative is Border Road Organization. It was set up in 1960 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So as the name suggests, Border Road Organization. What is the main aim of this organization? It is to create road infrastructure. Road infrastructure that is strategic. That is strategic. Like it will help our troops for the mobility. So we are right now developing all of this network of roads around our border so that the mobility of the troops, the connectivity in these areas can increase. So very quickly, can you guys tell me the important road infrastructure projects like tunnels, like highways, any airstrip, which is very strategically important to tackle our hostile neighbors? Do let me know in the comment box. Then it works under the administrative control of Ministry of Defense, like the BRO organization. So what they are doing, like I have just explained, they are working on construction of a good spectrum of roads like airfield, building, project, defense, tunnels. Okay, so they have constructed over 53,600 kilometers of total road network that has almost covered all of our states: Sikkim, Arunachal, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, Meghalaya, Ladakh, J&K, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and even a good amount of construction like ports, military harbors, connectivity projects are happening in Andaman and Nicobar as well. Then, other than this, other than the infrastructure, what we have done, we have enhanced our surveillance. Like even when hostile elements are using modern technologies, we are also adapting to modern technologies. Like we are using infrared sensors, we are using motion sensors, drone, camera, night vision, and good modern surveillance techniques that at times we have borrowed these techniques from other countries such as Israel. Then we have strengthened our law enforcement along the borders. Like now we have more number of human resource, like we have good amount of soldiers deployed in all these hostile areas. It include patrols, it include better training, it include giving them latest technology. And then not just this, we have increased the coordination among all these agents and agencies. Like if BSF wants to coordinate with the Indian Army, so we have a real time improved coordination with different agencies. Then we have improved coordination with other agencies, civil agencies like custom, like immigration departments. So they are also synced with the other agencies so that you can have a improved coordination and a better border management. Then we have increased community engagement. Like we have allowed the local communities to be our eyesight, and it helps us not just in intelligence gathering, but we are, training them and recruiting them into the forces that has created not only jobs for them, but again alternative source of livelihood. Then other basic amenities are also provided to them, so that they can also get along in the mainstream, like education, like basic amenities like food, water, sanitation, hospitals, etc. Then strengthening international cooperation. We are, coordinating with different agencies like BRICS, like SARC. Then we are having bilateral talks with many of our neighbors, so that we can reduce all these illegal activities like drug trafficking, criminal activities, all these things, right? And improve infrastructure. We have now invested huge money through different schemes. Like I will, in just next slide, I will tell you that with which scheme and with what scheme we are, how we are creating more infrastructure. That include road, bridges, communication networks, and other necessary things. Then vibrant village program. So under this program, this was launched very recently in the budget of 2022-2023. So in this vibrant village program, we are targeting all those border villages which are having very less population, sparse population. We are giving them more connectivity, more infrastructure, so that they can also benefit from the development of the country. So we are giving them infrastructure, housing, tourist center, road connectivity. Now, all if you develop all these things slowly and slowly, a microeconomy of that place becomes strong. So provisioning of decentralized renewable energy. That means they can generate their local energy from there. Direct to home access for Doordarshan, educational channel, telephone towers, all these things are provided at these places. Now, this is parallel to what China is doing across LAC. So, China is also building model villages just across the border. So, we are doing the same. Now, it will improve, like it will be an improved version of the existing border area development program, right? So we are not just targeting the villages, not just targeting the infrastructure, but we are targeting the people as well, their development as well. So when people will develop, automatically our border management will develop. Then a very unique project, comprehensive integrated border management, comprehensive integrated border management system. Now in this system, these are two pilot projects where we are developing smart fencing. Like these smart fencing will give you 24/7 into 365 days of surveillance with state of the art technologies, like all those modern technologies like thermal imagers, infrared, laser based intruder alarm systems. Like we all know, like these days, the all the infiltrators crossing the LOC or the border, we can easily capture them through CCTVs. Like they are not the regular CCTVs, but they are a very high end thermal imagers that can easily detect any movement. Now, all these unattended ground centers sensors can help in all the kind, like it can detect any intrusion that is coming into India. It has radar, sonar system, and even we have placed fiber optic sensors across our riverine borders, like all those rivers. Then command and control system that can receive the data, and all these surveillance can happen in real time. Then bold QIT. Bold QIT is again under this only CIBMS, Comprehensive Integrated Management System. Border electronically dominated by QRT, that is Quick Response Teams interception technique, which we have recently deployed in Indo-Bangladesh border in Dhubri district of Assam. So as soon as we detect anything, any intrusion, our teams will be ready and can be deployed in fraction of minutes, and they can reach the spot to tackle any kind of infiltration. Then at last we have border infrastructure and management scheme. It was launched as a central sponsored scheme in the budget. It was introduced in 2021-2022 till 25-26 at the cost of 13,020 crore rupees. Now, under this, the similar kind of infrastructure will be developed, like border fencing, border floodlight, technological solution, border roads, border outposts, and all other necessary infrastructure that is required all over the different borders. Not just Pakistan and Bangladesh, but China, which is becoming a new hostile neighbor. So it will strengthen the border infrastructure, improving the border management, policing, and guarding of the border. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Now, if you want a video on any other topic, do let us know in the comment box. And if you love the content that I have delivered in this video, do not forget to give a like and also share this video with your friends. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.